Hi, how are you? I'm here to make a video about debunking evolution. I don't believe evolution. There's no proof of evolution because it's just a theory. It's just a theory. That's all it is. It's not a fact. Evolution makes no sense. Because I want to say that life cannot come from non-living. Life cannot come from rock. Um, you cannot get life from non-living. Life has to come from a source of living, like a creator. Because in order for consciousness to come, there has to be something else that gives it consciousness. Otherwise, you are someone who believes that life can come from a dead, non-living thing. We don't see that happening. We don't see that happening. Life cannot come from non-living by itself. Only someone with the power to create something from non-living to living can do that. Yeah, evolution does not make sense. We cannot come from a single bacteria. It's just not logical, and it's just not possible. A single bacteria has to have everything that it needs in order for it to exist. It needs to have the right type of environment. Let's not forget about the food that it needs. It needs to have nutrients. How will it be able to find a big pond of water or a big lake of water? How will it be able to find it if it can't even function? It needs food in order for it to function. Food comes from living things. So the idea of a single bacteria is just silly. Yeah, evolution cannot come into existence by randomness. It needs to have someone that makes it along the way. You cannot get randomness into an order, into what you call perfect order. The world that we live in is in a perfect design. There's design in the world. Everything is in order. Yes, we do have earthquakes and things that go wrong, but we can leave that aside and just look at the structure of the world. It's just way too ordered in order for it to be the result of chance. Chance is explosion. When you see an explosion, you see chaos. You never see order. You don't see systems. Look at our human body. It's just really complex. We're made out of so many cells that work together, like as if they're a city. You know, it's just you have to be really logical. A protein can't exist unless there is another protein around. I'll tell you what I mean by that. We human beings are made out of protein. We get our protein from other living source. We cannot get protein from non-living. So if you believe that DNA came into existence from non-living, then you are not being reasonable. Because, like I said, DNA requires other sources of DNA in order for it to exist. DNA cannot come into existence without getting all the sources, all the things that it needs to function. DNA can only be found in living things. It can only be found in animals or plants. Literally, they can only be found in plants or animals. They cannot be found in other things. You cannot get DNA from objects that are not living. The gene pool of human beings, the gene pool of animals, whatever the child's gene pool is, it comes from the parent. There's no additional chromosome that is separate from the parents that is added to the DNA of the child. A child is the same species, always the same species as the parent, because that's how we see the world. We've never seen animals evolving or changing. If evolution was true, why don't dogs produce different animals? Why don't dogs produce different child that is different species that looks different? We don't say that all the animals, they have the same DNA. All the animals, I mean, all the animals, all the offsprings of animals are exactly the same as the parents. The offsprings of animals are identical to their parents. whatever they have is comes from their parents. They don't get additional DNA. Not from what I've seen, not from what scientists have seen. So yeah. So unless you believe something that is not known in the world, we don't see things changing the way you believe. The other thing is, what was I going to say? Evolution is just a theory. It's not meant to be taken literal because it's just not really cool. There's no proof to it. You can't disprove the creator. There's so much evidence to support a high power. Yeah. If you look at the design of the world, you see so much complexity or things which exist without a reason. An example of that is Fibonacci spiral, which is on our fingertips. They have shapes which are in a shape as if they've been designed. Because if you look at the curvature of this Fibonacci spiral, it's got a mathematic wisdom to it. This sequence. There is it's been designed. Fibonacci's are designed because it's a mathematics sequence. It's it's part of geometric shapes. Human beings use Fibonacci's to make staircases. So many things. Even the hexagon shape it came from the honey. It came from the honeycombs. Human beings didn't know what hexagon was. A lot of the shapes that you see, they're already made in nature by high power. But human beings, they copy it. It's just another proof that there's a design to nature. There's no reason for Fibonacci's to exist in the evolutionary view. There's no strength advantage. Nothing at all. There's no strength in it. You cannot get stronger by having Fibonacci spirals on your fingertips.